Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Just before the Olympics got underway, August 5th, I put out a video showing the significance of the number 96 to the modern era of the Olympics. The first Olympics of the modern era were held April 6th, 1896, emphasis on the year 96. April 6th is the 96th day of the Gregorian calendar, the calendar system that we've been using since before that time. Today, Michael Phelps, the record-setting medalist for the U.S. Olympic swim team, he had a big night, and it came on his son's 96th day of being alive. What I want to show in this video is how Michael Phelps is a Manchurian athlete born and bred to be the medal-winning machine that he is. I remember in 2004, his second Olympics, the one where he won a lot, whatever network was hosting the Olympics, they did a 5-minute special going over all the dimensions of Michael Phelps' body. This is 2004, now 12 years ago. I wish I could find that video. I was searching for it before I made this video. I wanted to show it if I could find it, but I still remember it to this day. They were going over the dimensions of his body, what's so special about it. They talked about how he couldn't have a more perfect body for swimming based on his dimensions, his arms and legs. It was really fascinating to watch back then. What I am now somewhat convinced of is that Michael Phelps was created essentially in a laboratory. And I don't think it's just Michael Phelps that's being made in laboratories in the world of professional athletics. And if you think that's a crazy thing that I just said, stay tuned, finish this video, keep an open mind. We live in an age of advanced technology. Remember back in the 90s when they cloned Dolly the sheep? If you've never seen my video on the cloning of Dolly the sheep, she was introduced to the world on the 53rd day of the year. Sheep in gematria sums to 53. If you're new here, I talk about gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. It's going to be very relevant to this presentation about Michael Phelps. We'll figure out why the name Michael Phelps is so perfect for swimming and more. So let's begin with this headline, Golden Night for U.S. This has a special gematria within it, relevant to the nation. Golden Night for U.S. sums to 86. So do all of these words. Symbol equals 86. Triangle equals 86. Pyramid equals 86. Michael Phelps, a major symbol of accomplishment. Record-setting medalist for the U.S. Olympic swim team. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the person to win the most medals by any U.S. Olympian in any sport ever. Other words with 86 gematria: republic, citizen, the United States of America, a democratic republic as we call ourselves. You know, big night for the republic. Gold medals. Citizen has that gematria of 86. Michael Phelps, I noticed that he's 6'4". Very special number to the Zionists. The United States of America is a Zionist Jewish creation, created to bring about the prophecy that is the Zionist nation of Israel. What people in this nation don't understand is we are a war empire. We were created for a military strategic purpose about bringing about the nation of Israel. Jerusalem over in Israel, USA right in the middle. See my work on Jerusalem and the United States of America. We are living out a planned agenda by the Zionists. Israel equals 64, Zion 64, Thelema 64, special number, also coded into the name Michael Phelps, also within the word swim. Swim 64, Michael Phelps 64. Here we are in the year 2016. Don't forget, in the Jewish calendar, it's the year 5776, and in 2 months, it's going to be 5777. The Zionist Jewish banker tyrants, they are who run this world by the numbers. They are the ones who've created all these rituals, including the Olympics, the calendar system, our language. They have built this world around us. Michael Phelps, born June 30th, 1985. His birth numerology is very interesting. 140, This is a number often coded with the number 106, the number of prophecy. This year, the U.S. Olympic team sent back 106 returning medalists. Michael Fred Phelps II is Michael Phelps' full name, gematria of 106. For more than a year, I've been explaining how this number is often coded alongside 140. His birth numerology is 140. His full name's 106. This is no coincidence. This is further proof of being a Manchurian athlete, born and bred to be, possibly created in a laboratory and birthed on an appropriate date. A date with a life lesson number of 59, a number that has a lot to do with being a slave. I really think, in a sense, Michael Phelps is very much a slave. Think about how he wins medals for the country and then is routinely publicly humiliated for doing things such as smoking marijuana, which is another form of conditioning, shaming people for smoking marijuana. The only reason they do that is because marijuana opens people's minds, and in the United States of America, they don't want thinking people with open minds. They want believers who follow orders. Born on a date with 32 numerology, America equals 32. The Declaration of Independence date, 7/4/1776. 32 numerology, 7 plus 4 plus 1 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6. This win comes 40 days after his 31st birthday. He's the oldest swimmer on the U.S. team to win a gold medal in the history of the Olympics. 31 is the 11th prime number. 11 is the master number in numerology. Phelps equals 76, just like master. 11, the master number. Think about Michael Phelps, master swimmer. Age 31, the 11th prime. From his birthday until today, August 9th, is 40 days, or 5 weeks and 5 days. United States in gematria sums to 40. Something really interesting about 40, if you write it out as a word in simple English gematria, it sums to 84. Just like states, in Pythagorean gematria, United States of America sums to 84. United States 40, the relationship between 40 and 84. This is the proof that the same gang who practices these rules, numerology, gematria, the Kabbalah practicing Jews, this is the proof of how they created our nation by the numbers. And if you read all the chapter drafts I put out for free on my book, about 800 pages worth of reading, you can see how our entire nation's history is by these numbers, the numbers of prophecy, the numbers about the Jews reclaiming Israel. This is what we're living out. And things like the Olympics are a distraction from the reality of the terror of the world we live in. And when I say terror, I'm not talking about the Islamic boogeyman threat that they create on the TV. I'm talking about the terror of being raised in a slave state where you're programmed from birth, lied to, given poisonous foods, and managed with a number stamped on you your whole life. Michael Fred Phelps II, again, the prophecy code. This year, the Olympic team sent back 106 returning medalists, 66 of whom are Olympic champions, meaning they won gold. Empire equals 66. 43 who have won multiple Olympic medals. Champion equals 43. Interesting how things line up. And the reason they line up is because it's all done that way. It's all a big show by the numbers. It always is. So let's get to what's so interesting about the sun in the story about Michael Phelps' success tonight. They're talking about his son, Boomer Phelps. Check this out. Boomer Phelps in gematria sums to 144. Today, August 9th, is the day that leaves 144 days left in the year. For anyone who just watched my last video on Donald Trump headlines by the numbers, what I overlooked is there's a little blurb. If you go back and watch the video, the 3-minute video I posted right before this, there's a little blurb next to Donald Trump. The words inside it in gematria sum to 221. And look, today's the 221st day of the year typically. Anyhow, Boomer Phelps, 144, getting a lot of media attention on the day that leaves 144 days left in the year. Remember, this is a very special number. In Jewish gematria, 144 represents time. Each day, there's 1,440 minutes. There's 12 months in a year, time. The square root of 144 is 12. We divide the day and night into periods of 12 hours. We say there's 12 inches in a foot. 12 represents complete numerology. in the Fibonacci sequence, the natural number spiral that counts up, the 12th Fibonacci number happens to be 144. Very interesting. When you write out 44, it sums to 144. Swimming has gematria 44. Big day for U.S. swimming by the numbers. Swimming also with the S exception sums to 53, and today happens to have 53 numerology as well. Boomer Phelps was born May 5th, 2016. Catch this above. From Michael Phelps' birthday to the date of the win was 40 days or 5 weeks and 5 days. His son born May 5th, 5-5. His son's name, the small way, I'll point out, also sums to 63. If you add every number up to 63, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 63, it sums to 2016, like the year we're in. From his son's birthday, May 5th, until today is 96 days. Again, the first Olympics in the year 96, starting on the 96th day. Freemason, the big way, equals 96. What I have been explaining is that with these Manchurian athletes that have these perfect names for their sport, that have these perfect birthdays, where they win these championships perfectly synced up with their birthday, what it shows me is somehow all of these people, somehow all of this is happening perfectly. And some people will credit it to the universe. They'll say, this is the way the universe works. What I've discovered is the way the universe works. But I don't think that's it. I think there is a natural relationship in this world with numbers and synchronicity. I think that's part of it. But I think the powers that be, who've been around for a long time, again, the Jewish people, they're almost in the 6,000th year of their calendar. They've been around. They have old world knowledge, and they use it. That's why they practice this Kabbalah. That's why they practice this number study. This is why they code their news stories this way. Yesterday was 8-8. Remember, Trump equals 88. Tax plan equals 88. On 8-8, Donald Trump unleashes his tax plan, the latest headline for him by the numbers. There's no way that everything Donald Trump does syncs up perfectly by the numbers as it does with the media for the last year, as I've shown. And all these sports championships over the years by the numbers, think about what I've shown with the NBA Finals, the Super Bowl being rigged to the point, predicting the outcomes months and months in advance. There's foul play going on here. And the only way I can think that they have these perfect birthdays, these perfect names, is that if they are born to be, meaning their future's already known, they have the right genetics, they know they're going to have the right training and coaching their whole life. But the way they land on perfect dates, it tells me that either they're forcing the births with C-sections or they're editing these people's birthdays so that they have the numbers of significance. Like, again, Michael Phelps' full name, 106, 140 birth numerology, always finding these numbers paired together in this research. It's beyond coincidence. With regards to the 55 focus, the word Satan has the gematria of 55. What's so interesting about Satan equaling 55 is that in numerology, 55 is connected to God. If you add up every number 1 through 10, it sums to 55. 10 represents God because it has numerology of 1. 1 represents the infinite, the all-powerful. 1, the only number that divides into every other number. 1, a very special number. 55, remember, if you add 1 through 10 up, it sums to 55. 55 has numerology coming back to 10 and 1. 5 plus 5 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. No other number 1 through 10, when you add up the number sequence, does it come back to having a numerology that is itself. You see what I'm saying? 10 has numerology of 1. Every number counted up to 10 sums to 55, having numerology coming back to 10, back to 1. If you read about numerology, numbers 1 through 9, they're often described as representing the qualities of this world. And so when you think about it, 1 through 10, God is supposed to be a reflection of all of creation. Imagine numbers 1 through 9 representing the different aspects of this world. 10, God, the full spectrum, It's kind of hard to explain. I hope you can picture what I'm saying. So anyway, 55 is supposed to represent God, but in our own language, it codes to Satan. And, you listen to Christian scholars debate about who the real God is of the Bible. A lot of people say that God is Satan, a jealous God who wants people to worship him and no one else, makes those rules the most important. The worship of Satan is to be the worship of yourself. And the powers that be, the tyrants who rule over us, they teach Satanism. They teach self-worship. So many people in this society, from growing up in this world with the television programming we have, the way schools are structured, teaching kids essentially to compete with other kids instead of work together. Think about the way the whole education system is. It's outdo your fellow man so you can get the better job, the better education. It's all about competition instead of working together. There's a reason for all of this. The powers that be want us as individuals, self-worshipers, because it makes us more easily ruled over. We don't know how to work with each other. We don't know how to communicate. What we know how to do is go do our individual jobs, pay our own bills, sit on our own asses, watch the TV. This is where they have us. Again, his son with the 5-5 birthday, 96 days after his birth, his father, probably the pinnacle or the end of the pinnacle of his career. He might never have another day this successful. By the next Olympics, he'll be 35 years old, probably too old. Anyhow, Freemason 96, Knowledge 96. Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. Satanism gematria of 96. The number 42, if you add the divisors of 42 together, they sum to 96. 42, Rio equals 42, where the Olympics are this year. Freemason in gematria, 42 and 96. Relationship in words and numbers. The number of Freemason obsessions, 33. And with regards to 42 and 96, it makes me think of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali died this year, June 3rd, 63 days before the start of the Summer Games. Again, if you had count every number up to 63, it sums to 2016. Muhammad Ali is remembered for opening the 96 Olympics in Atlanta on the 33rd parallel. He died in Phoenix this year on the 33rd parallel as well. He died 139 days after his birthday, Muhammad Ali. Freemason 9642, Freemasonry 139, and the small wave 58. The Rio Games began this year on August 5th or 5/8. The girl from Ipanema, have you seen my video on her? Name gematria 58. Girl from Ipanema equals 85. The two ways to express the start of the game. She opened it up this year, lighting the torch. Everything is done by the numbers in these Olympic Games. I don't know that all the competitions are rigged, but certain ones might be, such as Michael Phelps, who's a major symbol, a major draw. He could also be just so freakishly built that it's impossible to beat him at this point. So I'll let you leave that part up to your own mind. You can do your own thinking. I don't encourage anyone to let me do their thinking for them. I'm here to stimulate your thinking, help share information with you that you probably didn't know before. And you don't have to agree with everything I say, I'm sure some people tuned off when I was talking about Israel and Zion and Thelema because they can't believe it. But it's the truth. Jerusalem in gematria sums to 104. USA right in the middle. The date the United States of America was established, 7 plus 4 plus 17 plus 76, a date with 104 numerology, just like Jerusalem gematria. The U.S. very key in bringing about the Zionist state of Israel. What this whole 42 thing comes back to is the word new. New in simple English gematria sums to 42. In Pythagorean gematria, New Testament sums to 42, which ends with Revelation, the book of prophecy, which begins with Matthew and the 42 generations leading up to Jesus. This book was used to control the masses, tell people how to believe, how to behave. The United States of America was born out of this New World Order nation, given 42-line Bibles when the nation was first created. What I want you to notice about the word new is that in Pythagorean gematria, ends the 14th letter, 1 plus 4 becomes 5, E is 5, W is the 23rd letter. 2 plus 3 becomes 5. Nu is 555. Or in simple English gematria, if you added it, just sums to 42. This year, the U.S. team sent 555 athletes. 555, like Nu. In Washington, D.C., the Washington Monument's 555 feet tall above ground, with 111 feet below ground, 666. Prophecy in Jewish gematria sums to 666. It sits across from the Pentagon, the War Department, that's 5-sided with a 5-acre court in the middle that has 5 floors above ground. On September 11th, Washington, D.C. sits on the 77th meridian. The Pentagon is 77 feet tall above ground. Flight 77 supposedly hit the Pentagon 77 minutes after taking off. September 11th in gematria sums to 77. No plane hit the Pentagon. It was propaganda by the numbers. 77 in numerology is 7 plus 7 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Just one more 5 in the 555 nation. USA in gematria sums to 41. 4 plus 1 is 5. The men's basketball team, Kevin Durant's leading the way. Remember, Kevin Durant's birthday is September 29th. In Jewish gematria, United States of America equals 929. He got the big news signing with the Warriors on the nation's birthday, July 4th. All this stuff is by the numbers. So anyway, in this ritualistic nation, this Masonic nation, this Satanic nation, which it truly is, from Muhammad Ali's death until today is 67 days. Blood sacrifice equals 67. Satanic equals 67. Muhammad Ali equals 96. This big win coming for Michael Phelps on his son's 96th day on earth. This is what I have been exposing for some time, explaining to people how things are scripted this way. People are ritually sacrificed to line up with events to come. I was talking about how Muhammad Ali was a ritual sacrifice for the start of the Olympics. It's no surprise that 67 days later, we're probably getting the big story, the biggest story of the Olympics for the U.S. team. Muhammad Ali, one of the most celebrated athletes in U.S. history, and that same title belongs to Michael Phelps, the Manchurian swimmer who's 6'4". All right, truth seeker. Until next time.